Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the council meeting on September 13th. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:01 with the adoption of the agenda. Please add the following to your agenda. We are going to change 18.1 to Bjornson, 18.2 to the movie MOU, and 18.3 to the RSSA. Is there any other additions? Yes.
I have an addition for in camera for High Level Policing Society.
18.4 High Level Policing Society. Anyone else?
No other additions from administration, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Could I have someone move, please? Councillor Morgan, all in favor? Carried. We'll begin with the RCMP detachment. Can't see who's behind them.
It's Corporal Sam Holmes.
Corporal Sam Holmes, thank you. We apologize for not showing up to the meeting this morning. Were you there?
That wasn't me, that was the other guys.
Okay.
On night shift.
Okay.
No problem. So August for us was busier than last year. It was a combination of factors. Last year this time things were still more geared down with the pandemic. This year things were geared a little bit more back up. We had excellent weather for a lot of August as well, and that tends to drive our calls for service up, drive our monthly prisoner numbers up. So for August, this year our prisoner count was 175, whereas last year it was 137. So we were up about 40 prisoners over that, so it's about a 25 to 30% increase there. Nothing too crazy, nothing that we couldn't handle with our current staffing situation. Other than that, I've got a bunch of stats as far as what, we had 32 reported assaults. We had a bunch of traffic offenses. We found in December of last year, they changed from the criminal code, or the province introduced the provincial sanctions for impaired driving.
Mm-hmm.
So those provincial sanctions are usually equal to what would happen normally through the courts and through the justice system. So we're diverting a lot through that provincial sanction system. It's a much more efficient system for us as far as seizing cars and giving people their driving suspensions. It's been extremely successful. The members are really, really keen to go out and try and find these people and get the drunk drivers off the road. So we've done a lot of calls with that. Just trying to find my stat on that. I don't have that one in front of me, unfortunately. But as far as our staffing goes, we're still fully staffed. We had a little bit of, we tried to stagger the vacation with our COVID pandemic response with our schedule. We had adopted a 1 week on and 1 week off schedule and split the detachment in two to keep everybody, half the group away from the other half. With that, nobody used up any vacation time because you had a week off every week or every second week. So we tried to make sure their members were taking their vacation time. We ended that process in May. So we tried to make sure that members were taking a week off or so each over the summer, but we never ran into any staffing problems. We never had to bring in anybody on overtime, anything like that. We were actually able to supplement some of the other detachments with our members who were off duty to be able to go and do some overtime there. And just trying to see if I had that. Roadside suspensions. Yeah, 13 impaired drivers in the month of August that the members found and were able to suspend and seize their vehicles and get them off of the road. So that's it's good to know that those 13 drivers aren't out there anymore. That's what it. The only other detachment news that I have for the council is the retirement of Staff Sergeant Delaron. He will be retiring. He's submitted his papers now, so he'll be retiring in December of this year. He's burning some leave until now, so Sergeant Mike Burns will be the principal contact until that time, until that position gets filled, but we'll try and get it done as soon as possible, and I already know there's some people that are interested in it. Everybody who's ever worked in high level wants to try and come back, so I have no doubt that'll be competitive. Any questions?
I have oh, sorry, go ahead, Terry.
I don't know if this is out of the norm or what, but it stuck out to me that for the month there were 14 reports of missing persons. Is that normal or?
That was driven largely by our good weather, where we were having a lot of people that were going out and then becoming intoxicated or becoming involved in a group of people, and then their family was expecting them back at a certain time and then they weren't back at that time. A lot of the times when people are called in as missing, I know for that was the ones for August, the ones that I was working, there were several times that they were called in as missing, they were actually staying with us at the time. So we were able to, we're not able to say too much, but we can certainly assure the family that they are safe and that they are accounted for.
Yeah. Okay.
So we didn't have anything of concern during the month of August.
So do you have support for this weekend? Like from other detachments?
For this coming weekend?
Yeah,
We've got enough members in town now that we don't have really anybody off on vacation right now. We can look at bringing some extra members in if it starts to look at Friday, Saturday night. We've got a couple supervisors on, and then we can put some members on standby and say, hey, do you want to come in for a couple hours and help us out and just make sure everything stays copacetic. But everything's been really good so far, so.
there's a lot going on this
There's a lot
weekend.
going on this week. It's a busy weekend, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions from council? Yes,
Well, am I missing something? Besides the fair, what other?
the Indian relay races
Oh,
out at the
yes.
rodeo
Oh,
grounds,
yeah,
the
yeah.
junior A, B hockey,
Oh,
the carnival, the comedian at the Flamingo.
Yeah,
okay.
that's big for high level. That's, we're very excited.
Yeah, it's an exciting weekend
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very
All right,
much. And
perfect.
please pass on our apologies again. That will never happen again.
No problem. I'm sure they had breakfast anyway. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you have the minutes of the August 30th meeting. Is there any errors? If not, could I have someone move to accept?
Both the mayor and I attended the child care debrief on the 26th of August. But other than that, I'll prepare to move the minutes.
There's also a correction to Minister MacGyver's name. I misspelled it. It's E-R, not O-R.
Okay. With those corrections, Deputy Mayor moves. All in favor? Carried. The meetings for the special council meeting, any errors? Could I have someone move it, please? Councillor Jessamine, all in favor? Carried. The delegation from the RCMP. Could I have someone move? Councillor Welke, I forgot your name, you've been gone so long. All in favor? Carried. So on September 3rd, I attended the SETI meeting where the basis of the meeting was discussing September 30th, the National Truth and Reconciliation Day. as a date for signing our friendship agreement. Right now, that still awaits the approval of the Dene Council. I had an email tonight from CAO Walter Kent saying that he will be discussing it with the acting chief Andrea tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow we will have whether we're going to have this on the 30th or not. Also, we discussed a date for the photo op basically for the water transfer station, which we attended, and thank you very much for that. September 4th, I was at the water transfer station opening. September 8th, council pre-planning session. September 9th, I attended the FASD National Awareness Day and the grand opening for Healing Arms. Gave messages to the FASD Society on the amazing things that they've accomplished over the years, and finally having a building to call their own. This was a very monumental date for especially Wanda and Sonia have been working on this since 97, so this is really first steps for them. So I would like to congratulate Wanda again and her team for raising awareness not only here in High Level but throughout the entire province about FASD. So yes, that's my report. Very short and sweet this time.
You had mentioned acting for the Chief Ennese, is he away or?
Yes, he is gone from the 14th to the 22nd.
Oh.
So yeah. Any other questions? Could I have someone approve my report then, please?
I'll approve it.
Thank you. Councillor Anderson, all in favor? Carried. Deputy Mayor.
The mayor and I both attended the September 1st City Working Group meeting, and then September 8th Special Council meeting.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Anderson?
September 7th, transportation meeting at noon, and on the September 8th, the special council meeting.
Do you have any more drivers?
Nope. Still looking for drivers.
I've been rounding people up, but I guess they're not. Councillor Jessamine?
September 8th, the special council meeting, and that is all for me.
Councillor Morgan?
On September 2nd, I attended a high-level transportation meeting where we had an application for a new driver. And then I attended the September 7th transportation meeting as well. And then September 8th, I attended the planning session meeting.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Welke?
On September 7th, I attended an FASD Society meeting, which was mostly prep for the grand opening, which I was unable to attend. Thankfully, the mayor was, and echo the same words. Congratulations to the society and Wanda and team. And on September 8th, the special council meeting. I attended via Zoom.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Could I have someone move the reports, please? Councillor Morgan, all in favor? Carried. Is there anything on the council action list that anybody wishes to discuss?
I'll move that for information.
Thank you, Councillor Morgan. All in favor? Carried. 10-2 is about upcoming events.
Madam Mayor, that arose out of your September 8th meeting. Thank you to Director Rolfe for putting together the first iteration of this. We'll start fleshing that out and making that a regular occurrence. The first page is town-related events. The second page is regional-related events, or regional events.
Thank you very much. That's great. It's nice to have them all in a... Too bad we couldn't get everybody else's together. So thank you very much. Could I have someone, oh, sorry.
Is this list something that we could maybe have frequently as the actual dates populate? And
Yeah, the idea was that we'll bring it to every council meeting and
Okay.
have it updated all the time. So as dates become clear and more activities, events, and programs are set, we'll keep populating it. So we populate with the Mackenzie Association as well too, so that's where we can also show what's in the whole region. So, and as we decide on our actual event dates, we can add that to the list too. So the idea is it would be in council's package every time, and we'll just keep updating it on our T-Drive. So,
Is
it's not
this,
gonna be exhaustive, because there's always things
Yeah.
happening that we don't
Yep.
necessarily know of, so we're not trying to, like, not include anyone, but it's just like what we hear of through various communications, so.
and most of these are pretty standard, like they're
A
held
lot of
every
them
year?
are, yeah, yeah.
Is that what Fort Vermilion's Farmers Market is called, 1788?
I'm not sure. That
No.
was our tourism person,
Oh,
already put that in, so I assume that she would know, but
that must be their incorporation date or something.
I can check on that.
Yeah, it's interesting, it doesn't matter. It's just kind of,
Is that when, the
I
trappers or whatever first came to the area?
don't know, but I saw it, like, I think on line blue to that building. 17, incorporated 1788, I think it is.
That's when Fort Vermilion was incorporated. The Hudson's Bay Post at Fort Vermilion in 1788. That's why it's Highway 88, because it's the 200th anniversary of the founding of Fort Vermilion.
Really?
Yeah,
And I didn't know that.
I'm a wealth of useless knowledge.
You better run it.
All right, thank you
I'll move that.
for information.
Yep, for information.
All in favor? Carried. Number 12, disaster recovery.
Madam Mayor, Director Phillips will present that report.
What are we gonna do when we get all this money?
Pay back our operating reserve.
We'll never be able to ask you this question again.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Business rising from our last council meeting, council requested a payment status update. So I had a phone call with our case manager at Alberta Emergency Management on September 8th. We went over our outstanding projects, so we have 5 outstanding projects, and I did ask the questions about our budget versus what our actual expenses are. So our accruals are sent to them, like, so they accrued all the projects that we had listed and the budget versus the expenses. They took all of those accruals into consideration, so there won't be any surprises that we won't be paid for anything that isn't budgeted, unless it wasn't sent on our accruals, but everything has been sent to them and processed for the 2021, up to the 2021 year. So the only other thing is, she said that if there's some large amount that we haven't accrued for, we haven't told them about, but everything has been submitted to them. So our expectation is to receive a total estimated payment of 2.6 million when everything is done. There is one project that has some expenses where there's further clarifications needed in their first review stage, and then what happens, it goes to the peer review stage. So they just like to clear up clarifications and questions prior to getting to the peer review, so then they have those answers if anybody does have questions at that review before the final payment stage.
Any questions?
Good job.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, just a further question from administration to council. You do have a meeting set up, or we are in the process of trying to set up a meeting between council and the Minister of Municipal Affairs at the AUMA conference. The town faced a lot of costs that other municipalities did not normally face during a disaster. The Office of the Fire Commissioner was in a bit of a disarray when Chuck A broke out. The town ended up covering a lot of expenses the province normally covers and uses different processes for. There's different processes that haven't been accounted for. It's caused the town to draw an awful lot of money out of its operating reserves in order to cover these expenses, and that's a direct cost to the taxpayer at high level. Not only that, the huge amount of hours that the staff has put in trying to put this all together, both Jerry and Carolyn before her. On top of that, High Level is the only community that faced a major wildfire event that did not get any event funding from the government. Both Slave Lake and Fort McMurray, although there was fire got into those communities, received substantial money to prepare for the next wildfire, to recover from the current one. If council would like us to, we can compile and put together an idea of the costs, the direct costs in lost investment revenues, staff time, that type of stuff that we have incurred that other municipalities have not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've talked with James Hobson, our CIBC investor, and he takes care of our investment portfolios, and he is getting together a summary to have it to me beginning of next week, so we can include that in our package to Mr. McIver.
We've had that discussion with Minister McIver. We've had that discussion with Bruce. We've had that discussion with Minister Nixon. But it's never had any real teeth to it. If we've had, it's basically, we said we didn't receive any post-pandemic money, like just because we saved our community. So yeah, no, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, where the community survived.
Yes, they're resilient. All right. Does somebody?
For information.
Okay. Deputy Mayor moves for information. All in favor? Carried. Move to correspondence for information. Service line warranties. Any discussion? I guess we can, does anyone want to discuss
I'll
any
move
of it?
15.1 to 15.3 for information.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Carried. So this concludes our public portion of our meeting. I thank everybody for joining us. Could I have someone move us into in-camera, please?
So done.
Councillor Anderson. All in favor? Carried.